Hey everybody, I'm here today to tell you about a reason that people fail the driving test, and that reason is hitting the curb. Now here's the thing, some people will fail because of this, and in other places, in other situations, hitting the curb will contribute a number of points being lost, which will end up putting the person over the top and cause them to fail the driving test. In most places, you can lose a certain number of points on your driving test. And when you lose a certain number of points and you go over that number, then you fail the test. So whether hitting the curb is an automatic failure where you live, or it will just put you within a number of points being lost, you should avoid it. Now let me go over a few situations because it all depends on how you hit the curb and when you hit the curb. Let's say you're parallel parking and your tire just brushes against the curb. Most driving test examiners will look at that. They might dock a small number of points, if anything, but most driving test examiners will realize that parallel parking is one of the hardest skills, even for experienced drivers, so they might just let it slide because they'll see that, you still parallel park the car effectively, and you just barely brush the curb. On the other hand, if you go right into the curb, you might lose more points because of that. Sorry about that. Now, in another situation, let's say you're driving down a main road, and you're driving down the road, and all of a sudden you hit the curb while you're driving on a main road, and you curb hop, you go onto the grass. That, in most cases, is going to be an automatic failure, and I'll tell you exactly why. That is unsafe. Let's say there was a pedestrian over the curb walking on the sidewalk, or a cyclist, or a tree, or a light post, or a road sign, or anything else. At the bare minimum, you're doing property damage to the grass, which is unsafe and it's kind of illegal. So with that being said, hitting the curb in different situations will get you a different number of losses with regards to your driving test. In some situations, it might be an automatic failure. In other situations, you might just start to lose some points, depending on what the situation is. But either way, regardless, you should avoid it. Now, here's how you avoid hitting the curb. Practice and steering control, those two things. Practice goes along with, let's say, something like forward parking, where you're going to forward park and you don't want to allow your tires to hit the curb. Parallel parking, where you're parallel parking the car and you don't want your tires to hit the curb. Any other situation like that, like pulling over to the side of the road and you don't want your tires to brush up and rub against the curb. Any of those situations, practice is going to get you what you need. But for other situations to avoid hitting the curb, like when you're driving down a main road or when you're turning right, you don't want to do a curb hop and so forth. In those situations, steering control is what's going to get you what you need. So if you practice doing the driving skills and you practice working on your steering control, you're going to be in a great position to not hit the curb or hit the curb as few times as possible, and hopefully it won't cause you to fail the test. Hopefully it causes, not doing it causes you to pass the test, and then you can get your license. It's as simple as that. Avoid hitting the curb because it is a reason that people fail their driving test. And that's basically it. If you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more great car and driving videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.